All right, buckle up, everyone, because today we are diving deep into the truly amazing story of ramyeon.
Yes, it's such a fascinating journey.
Right, from its ancient origins all the way to being this massive global thing, and we're gonna really zoom in on the spicy, exciting world of K-ramyeon.
Yeah, and the sources we've pulled together for this, they really paint a vivid picture. We've got historical accounts, market data, and honestly, some pretty wild cultural stories that just bring it all to life.
Okay, so our mission today, it's basically to figure out how this, simple noodle dish became such a huge international symbol. We're talking surprising history, clever strategies, those crazy cultural moments.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, grab your metaphorical bowls because there are some seriously wild tales ahead. You might laugh, you might get hungry. It's going to be fun.
Definitely gonna get hungry.
Huh. Okay, so first things first, the name. Ramyeon. Where does that even come from? Does the word itself give us clues?
It absolutely does. So ramyeon, it traces back to the Chinese word lamian,
Lamyeon.
which means pool noodles. Then that term kind of traveled to Japan, became ramen,
Ah, okay, ramen. Makes sense.
and then it landed in Korea as ramyeon. But what's really interesting is the main ingredient, wheat. Its history is, well, way deeper. The earliest known wheat cultivation, we're talking Diyarbakir in Turkey.
Turkey. Wow, okay. Didn't expect that. And yeah, you think about the ancient Egyptians, they were already using wheat for bread, right? Gotta love that gluten.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then over in ancient China, you had these harsh conditions, bad water, super cold weather.
Right.
That pushed them towards boiled or cooked flour dishes. Things like tangbyong, sort of like noodles, or maybe sujebi and jungbyong, which were basically dumplings.
So born out of necessity, really.
Pretty much. And we even have a recipe from the 6th century, suinbyong. It's the earliest documented noodle recipe we know of.
No way. 6th century.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Back then, noodles were super luxurious. Flour was hard to come by, so it was mostly for the imperial family.
Huh. So not exactly street food back then.
Definitely not. It shows how food innovation, driven by need and tech, has shaped things for ages. It laid the groundwork for stuff like ramyeon.
That's a really cool perspective. So, okay, noodles were fancy. What happened next in China? Did they stay exclusive?
Well, fast forward a bit to the Song Dynasty. Historians call it the Mayan era, like the noodle renaissance.
Noodle Renaissance, I like it.
Yeah. Because water mills became widespread, milling technology got way better. Suddenly, you could mass-produce flour.
Ah, okay. So more flour, more noodles.
Exactly. It just exploded. A really diverse noodle culture popped up, and it became much more accessible to, regular people.
And I guess that tech and noodle culture started spreading, right? Like to Japan.
Yep, Japan's a perfect example. Udon, soba, those came over from China and got adapted to Japanese tastes.
Right, right.
And that whole post-Song dynasty spread really set the stage for, well, modern ramen. The first shop we'd kind of recognize, Reiken, opened in Tokyo in 1910.
1910, okay.
Yeah.
What was it like?
It was basically Chinese soba, but tweaked for Japanese preferences. Think soy sauce broth, chashu pork, bamboo shoots, green onions.
Sounds delicious.
And it was an instant hit, especially with laborers in the cities, which were modernizing super fast. They needed food that was quick, cheap, and filling.
Makes perfect sense. But then something awful happened.
Yeah.
The Kanto earthquake in 1923. How on earth did a disaster like that end up spreading ramen? Seems counterintuitive.
It really does. But it's fascinating how sometimes adversity sparks unexpected change,
Yeah.
So the earthquake was devastating, obviously. But refugees fled Tokyo, resettling all over Japan. Osaka, Sapporo, Kyushu. And lots of them started small noodle stalls.
Ah, because it was a low-cost way to start a business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Easy to set up. And because they were setting up in different regions, they started adapting the ramen. That's how we got all these amazing regional styles, miso ramen, tonkotsu, shoyu.
Wow. So the disaster actually diversified ramen across the country. That's incredible.
It really is. And then, after World War II, there's another twist. The U.S. sent a lot of food aid, mainly wheat.
Right, post-war aid.
So wheat-based dishes saw this huge resurgence. And Japanese ramen sort of shifted again. It went from being just, quick fuel for workers to becoming this beloved soul food for the common people.
From emergency food to soul food. What a transformation. Okay, now we got to talk about the real game changer. Instant noodles. Who was the genius behind this?
That would be Momofuku Ando, founder of Nissin Foods. And his inspiration was pretty powerful. He saw people in post-WWII Japan lining up for ages in the cold just for a bowl of ramen.
Just like you mentioned earlier, yeah.
And he thought, There has to be a better way. What if everyone could have this instantly?
A classic inventor's mindset. So how did he do it?
His big breakthrough was in 1958. He figured out that if you fried the noodles, it dehydrated them perfectly for preservation.
Ah, the frying technique.
Exactly. Then they could rehydrate super fast just by adding hot water. That led to the very first instant ramen. It was chicken broth based. And with TV ads picking up steam, boom, explosive popularity.
Instant ramen is born. But he didn't stop there, did he? The cup noodle, that was him too.
Yep, that was Ondo again in 1971.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually watching Americans trying to eat traditional ramen.
Oh, yeah. What did he see?
He saw them struggling, like using paper cups because they didn't have bowls, fumbling with chopsticks.
Huh, okay, I can picture that.
It's a light bulb moment.
Yeah.
He thought, why not put the noodles in a waterproof cup with the seasoning? Just add hot water, wait a few minutes, and eat. The cup noodle.
Genius. Solving a problem he actually observed. That's brilliant. But wait, I heard the initial reaction in Japan wasn't great.
Yeah, it was a bit lukewarm at first. People thought it was kind of weird. And it cost more than the packet ramen.
Huh. So how did it become this global icon then?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting. There was this incident in 1972, the Osama Sanso incident.
Sama-sauce? What was that?
It was a hostage crisis, actually, a pretty intense standoff. And he was broadcast live on TV for hours.
Okay.
And during the broadcast, viewers saw the riot police, who were surrounding the building in the cold, eating cup noodles to stay warm and keep their energy up.
No way. They were eating cup noodles on live TV during a hostage crisis.
Yep, totally unplanned. Just police eating their emergency rations. But the effect was massive. Sales shot up 33 times in just 1 year.
33 times. That is unbelievable. Talk about accidental marketing.
Seriously. It completely changed how people saw cup noodles. Suddenly it was this practical, essential thing. After that, vending machines popped up everywhere, and the global takeover really began.
Wow. Just wow. Okay, so that sets the stage perfectly for Karameon's own story. How did it start in Korea?
It starts with Samyang Ramyeon in 1963. The founder, Jeon Jong-yoon, was really shaken by the food shortages after the Korean War. He saw people surviving on basics like this honey pig soup, basically scraps.
God, that sounds tough. So he saw instant ramen in Japan and wanted to bring it to Korea.
Exactly. He went to Japan hoping to learn the secret, specifically the soup powder recipe, from a company called Myojo Foods. They were pioneers in that area.
Okay, makes sense. Did they share it?
Well, initially, no. Myojo Foods refused. It was their secret formula, proprietary tech.
Oh, man. So he went all the way there and got turned down. That must have been crushing, especially wanting to help feed people back home.
Totally. He was apparently really dejected, ready to head back to Korea empty-handed. But then, get this, just as he was about to board his plane.
Yeah.
The president of Myojo Foods showed up. He'd been really moved by Jung Jong-yoon's passion and his mission, and he secretly slipped him a letter.
No, what was in it? Don't leave me hanging.
Haha. It was a note encouraging Korea's ramen efforts.
Yes.
And the exact formula for the soup powder.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's incredible. What a moment. Seriously, that gives me chills.
Right. Just an amazing act of, solidarity or generosity.
Right.
So Samyang Ramyeon, Korea's first instant ramen, was born from that.
Wow. Okay, so they had the recipe. Was it an instant hit like in Japan?
Actually, no. Similar to cup noodles later, the initial reaction in Korea was kind of meh, lukewarm.
Huh. Why?
The taste? Maybe. It wasn't quite right for the Korean palate yet. But then, in 1966, they made a key change. They added chili powder.
The spice.
The spice. And that was it. Huge success. It just clicked.
It needed that Korean kick. I heard a story about President Park Chung-hee suggesting that. Is that true?
Yeah, that's the anecdote. Apparently, he liked his ramyeon spicy and suggested the companies look into adding chili powder. Whether it was direct influence or just reflecting popular taste, who knows? But the timing fits.
Fascinating. So the spice was key. But was it only the spice that made Kiramyeon take off, or were other things going on?
That's a great point. Spice was crucial, definitely. And Nongshim's Shinramyeon, which came out in 1986, really cemented that deep, spicy taste that Kiramyeon is known for. It clearly set it apart from Japanese ramen.
Shinramyeon, yeah, that's like the iconic one for many people.
Totally. But it wasn't just taste. The government actually played a role, too. In the 60s and 70s, there was a rice shortage. So the government launched this mixed grain meal encouragement movement. And they actively promoted ramyeon as a good, nutritious alternative meal.
Wow, government-backed ramyeon eating.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And sales jumped 6 times, from like 2.4 million bags in 66 to 15 million in 69. So it was this combo of nailing the flavor and getting this national push.
That makes so much sense. And even the packaging evolved, right? It wasn't always that fiery red.
No, not at all. Samyang's first design was basically a copy of Japanese ramen packaging.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But then in '69, they switched to an orange background. Apparently orange is supposed to stimulate your appetite.
Huh. Interesting. Food psychology and packaging.
Right. And then when Shin Ramyun launched in '86, they went with that intense, bold red that really marked the second generation of K-ramyun packaging, all about grabbing attention and signaling that spice.
That bold red definitely screams spicy. Okay, fast forward again. K-ramen starts going global. How did that happen?
A huge part of it was the Hallyu wave, the Korean wave. K-pop, K-dramas.
Yeah.
They just exploded internationally.
Oh, absolutely.
And you started seeing ramyeon pop up constantly in these dramas.
Yeah.
Like Boys Over Flowers, My Love from the Star, even the movie Inside Men. Characters are just casually making and eating ramyeon.
And suddenly everyone watching is like, what is that? I want some.
Exactly. It created this massive awareness and curiosity. People saw their favorite stars eating it, and it looked so comforting and delicious.
It's brilliant, really. Product placement, but organic. And then came Parasite.
Oh, yeah. The Parasite effect was massive. Winning the Oscar was huge, obviously, and it put Japaguri, that mix of chapageti and nigiri, on the global map, along with cooking ramyeon in those little aluminum pots.
Oh, Japaguri. Okay, you have to tell the story about the press conference after the Oscars. It's hilarious.
Oh, it's the best. So they're at this press conference, lunch, back in Seoul, and the hotel chef decides to make a little fancy version of Japaguri with sirloin steak as an appetizer for the cast and director, Bong Joon-ho.
Nice little tribute, right?
Totally. But when they bring it out, the whole cast and director just burst out laughing and clapping.
Why? What did they say?
They all basically yelled out, "We've never actually eaten this before." Except for the actress Jo Yo-jung, who had to eat it for a scene in the movie.
No way. They made Japaguri famous worldwide and had never even tried it.
Isn't that perfect? And apparently the chef admitted it was his first time making it too.
Oh my God, that's just comedy gold. What a fantastic story.
It really shows how food can just take on a life of its own, you know?
Yeah.
And the success is real. Kermion hit #1 in global market share in 2023, about 20%.
20%? That's huge.
And this year, 2024, exports are expected to hit like $1.25 billion US.
Yeah.
It's massive.
Wow. Just phenomenal growth.
Yeah.
But it hasn't all been smooth sailing, right?
Let's talk about the Danish situation, the too spicy recall.
Ah, yes, the Bulldog controversy. So Denmark's food agency recalled 3 of Samyang's super spicy Bulldog ramyeon varieties, the 3x spicy, 2x spicy, and the Bukkum Tengmeon.
Why? What was the reason? They cited a risk of acute poisoning from excessive capsaicin levels. Capsaicin is the compound that makes chili peppers hot. They literally told people to throw it away or return it.
Acute poisoning? That sounds serious. Did people actually get sick?
Well, that's the thing. Samyang strongly pushed back, but the news itself just went absolutely viral.
Oh, I bet. Spicy noodle drama.
Totally. TikTok challenges popped up everywhere, and news outlets, especially in Sweden, for some reason, SVT, TV4, Aftonbladet, they started having reporters and experts taste test these noodles live on air.
Oh my God, I saw some of those. The reactions were priceless.
Weren't they? People coughing, sweating, mouths on fire, tears streaming. Some hosts were even swearing.
Yeah. And the experts trying to explain it scientifically while the hosts are dying next to them.
Exactly. Like the neuroscientist explaining it's not heat, it's pain triggering a cough reflex like pepper spray, and saying water won't help, you need sugar or dairy.
Right. The doctor said it wasn't catastrophic, but like a strong jalapeno, only Bulldog is twice as strong.
Yeah. Basically intense, but maybe not acutely poisonous in the way it sounded initially. Samyang defended themselves vigorously, saying the products are sold in over 100 countries without issue, billions of bags sold annually, no major incidents. They called the recall absurd.
Okay, but here's the crazy part. Did this recall actually help them?
It's the ultimate irony, right? All that controversy, all that media attention. Google searches for Bulldog spike to an all-time high.
So the Streisand effect, basically. Trying to remove something just makes it more popular.
Pretty much. It raises that tricky question, though, how do companies navigate this? Balancing their unique, sometimes intense cultural flavors with varying global rules and sensitivities. It's tough.
Yeah, it's a fine line. Bad press becoming good publicity.
Yeah.
That's a wild phenomenon. But it does show the power of viral trends.
Absolutely. And it highlights the challenges, but also the massive opportunities of taking a specific taste global.
So looking ahead, how are companies like Samyang and Nanshem keeping this momentum going? What are the strategies now?
Well, Samyang is definitely leaning into that spicy Buldak image. They're huge on social media YouTube challenges. Their overseas sales are already triple their domestic ones. They're growing fast in the US and setting up sales operations in Europe.
Makes sense. Ride the wave. What about Nanshem?
Nanshim's focusing on Shin Ramyun, of course, but also really pushing Cup Ramyun in the US market, since that's the dominant format there.
Smart. Adapt to the market.
Exactly. And they're partnering with big distributors in Europe, planning their own European sales base soon, too. So the big trends across the industry are diversifying products, new flavors, different
You
formats,
think's fresh?
localizing where needed, building strong distribution, and just really talking directly to consumers worldwide through social media and marketing.
It sounds like a solid plan for staying on top.
Yeah, it seems Keramion's global journey is far from over.
It really is incredible when you trace it all back. From, ancient grains in Turkey and luxury noodles in China.
To Japanese ramen stalls born from disaster, to Momofuku Ando's instant noodle revolution.
And then Keramyon finding its unique spicy identity, riding the Hallyu wave, and even navigating spicy scandals.
It's been quite the ride. Keramion's story is really about innovation, adapting to culture, smart marketing, and maybe a bit of luck, too.
It really makes you think about that quote from the French foodie, Burla Savarin.
Oh, which one?
The discovery of a new dish does more for the happiness of mankind than the discovery of a new star.
That was a good one.
Right. And you look at ramyeon, the seemingly simple thing, and how it's genuinely connected people and cultures globally. Karamyeon's story definitely isn't finished yet. It really makes you wonder, what's the next chapter? What new flavors, what new trends are waiting just around the corner for this amazing noodle?